Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Progression Fantasy Podcast. My name is Joel, and today we are talking Chaos Blade, along with a new series coming out tomorrow, which is Windweaver. Wingweaver?
Windweaver.
Wing, yeah.
Yes. So be sure to check that out tomorrow. And to help me with that, I have some amazing guests. In the top right, we have Adam Beswick, A.P Beswick, author of both those series. And on the bottom, we have Reck Well. Reck does a podcast as well and has authors on and talks about them. And he's also got a new series out called Stumbling Ups. That is a lit RPG series. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely go do that. So yeah, how you guys doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me
Just
on.
get back from Jordan Con, so you're a little jet lagged and out of it. But nah, should
Yeah, well, I've been back a week now, so near enough a week. So yeah, I'm slowly getting back to normality, if such a thing is possible.
Yeah. I feel like I finally got caught up on sleep by like Saturday. I was starting to feel better. Like, all right, I can be a real human now.
Oh, I slept on Tuesday when I got back.
Yeah.
It was like the deepest sleep I've had in a long time.
Yeah. We stayed an extra day on Monday to do a couple things around Atlanta, and then I drove back on Tuesday. 19 hours in the car.
Wow.
Not envious of that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday I went to like a LARPing event and I was up for like 24, probably like 26 hours. Yeah. And, well, because I worked the night before and then stayed up, and I cannot sleep in cars. I don't know about you, but, yeah. And then I was just out having fun all day. And got back, slept like 16 hours straight. It was just like the entire day was gone. And now I'm here. So why don't we go ahead and get into this? So to kick us off, Adam, would you like to do a short little synopsis of, let's start with Chaos Blade.
Yes, so Chaos Blade is a portal fantasy where Silas is transported from his office when he's having a really shitty day, being worked into the ground by his boss.
Frickin' Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. And finds himself in a new world where, having been a data analyst and pushed from pillar to post his entire life, decides when he gets the opportunity to pick a class to be a berserker.
I mean, and just the fact that his berserker rage is just fueled by his like old boss. I love it. I love it.
I think we all have a Jerry in our lives.
Yeah, corporate. If you've been in corporate, you've known Jerry.
Yeah.
And Jerry was a great name for that character too. Just reminds me of like Rick and Morty, but totally different Jerry, obviously. But yeah. So why Berserker?
So for me, it was, Chaos Blade was the first time for me writing lit RPG. So I think, given the nature of the story I wanted to write, and I still want the series to be absolute chaos as the story progresses. And I thought that one of the most fun ways to do that is just have the main character as a berserker, so that as he levels up, things are just gonna go turbo around the main character, but kind of build up over a few stories to get to that stage. I didn't want him to be overpowered straight away, and I wanted the character to kind of learn about the role as the readers are. But then, as the story's progressing, he is also a data analyst, so you'll kind of see how he mixes and matches his skill tree to maximize his effectiveness during combat.
Yeah, and I've seen berserkers in lit RPGs before, and I thought you executed him fairly cleverly. How did you make decisions about like how berserker rage to get? I mean, like sometimes you get these really blind berserkers that don't see friend or foe at all, and there's variation in how gross it can get. But how did you arrive at like Silas's berserker skills?
Yeah, so I thought again, I didn't want him to be instantly overpowered. So he finds an orb that's like a legendary orb that lets him choose his class earlier than at an earlier level than what he should do, which is even that in itself shows that someone is perhaps helping him that shouldn't be, or like rooting for him. But again, I wanted it to feel earned, and I think the best way of doing that is he has a countdown timer. So the lower level he is, the smaller that timer is. So at a base level, he might be able to increase his strength, but it would be for a really limited amount of time, and then it would have a cooldown period. So he wouldn't be able to just stay in this berserker stage throughout every single boss fight, because you've got to push your characters to allow them to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, like, a lot of the combat, once he does like fall out of that berserker stage, he has like some companions to help him out. Like Raven, I love Raven, is kind of like a mute, shadowy assassin type, which is really cool. I really want to learn more about her character. Looking forward to that. And
I'm
then,
rooting for a Raven spin-off series, personally.
Yeah.
No more extra books at the moment, Reck.
I feel like, hey, if you ever get tired of writing dialogue, you just
right. That'd be interesting just to see, test your author skills, writing entire book. No doubt.
I mean, to be fair with Raven, she was a really fun character to write, but also a really difficult character to write, because I didn't just want to say like, oh, this character's mute for the sake of just making her mute. I wanted that kind of disability that she has to be part of her story, but also again show with Silas and her relationship that he literally has no clue what these gestures are that Raven's using throughout the story. But as the story progresses, he slowly starts to figure it out and build that relationship. And then obviously I can't go into too much detail about what happens at the end of the story, but that Raven's art will continue in the next book, which is out on the 23rd of June.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, looking forward to that.
It's called Chaos Blade Crucible. I don't even think I've announced it yet.
Dun dun dun.
I've seen the cover. It's like a axe.
Yeah.
Black.
So I've put it up on pre-order, but I haven't actually made any formal announcements because there's been a lot of focus on Wingweaver.
For book 2, do you focus on Raven and Galahad a lot more, or?
I'd say more Galahad than Raven. Again, I can't say too much about because it'll spoil the ending of Chaos Blade Rebirth. Whereas Galahad is he's more prevalent through, and you get more of Galahad's backstory in this, and probably a little bit more understanding as to why Galahad is the way that he is.
Mm-hmm.
I love Galahad.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get off of his feet and get into the combat.
Yeah, you definitely see a lot more of Galahad in action in Crucible.
Good. So, another character that is probably my favorite, if I'm being honest, is the imps that you introduce. I just the first time meeting them, I love that. You had references to like media in like on Earth, which I'm like, how the hell do these guys know anything? And it's like 3 different riddles that he has to solve, and there's the like Harry Potter and like Game of Thrones and like every single one of them, I was like,
Yeah.
I know that. So yes, I love those characters.
Yeah, well, I wanted those riddles to be. I wanted you to feel like Silas, like what in the shit is going on? Why are we in this fantasy world? But all these references are like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, but doing it without actually naming them was the challenge.
Yeah, I bet.
And then and yeah, just having fun. I wanted the story not to take itself seriously. Like I said, it was my first foray into lit RPG, so I just wanted to have a really fun time writing it, and I did, and I hope that does come across when you read it. But yeah, the imps are back again. I couldn't write this another book without them being there, and they may or may not be like, I think we touched on this, Reck, on your podcast. I can't remember the name of the guy with the cloak on Resident Evil 4 who just turns up every now and again. You can buy stuff off him.
Yeah.
I want them to be those kind of characters that they just conveniently appear and happen to have items that could hinder
Do you
or
want to
help.
see my wares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know coming across him the second time, he's like, where'd you get that necklace from? Are you been stealing again? Like,
they are fun.
Yeah. 100%.
all right. So, I mean, there's a couple of characters we haven't mentioned yet. Sai, the like trainer that he meets for a little bit, who used to be another
Guardian, right?
Another Guardian, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did he come from another world? Like
Yeah, he came from Earth.
But he like lost his memory or something?
No, he just hasn't opened up about it yet.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he is from if you listen to the audiobook, he has a Mancunian accent.
Yeah, he was fun. I got the impression that there was a bit of his story that's left untold that may or may not be revisited, but he has some backstory that didn't make it into book 1.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he doesn't feature as much in book 2, but I love writing Sai. Sai is actually based on my PT, so it was really fun to show him the book cover and be like, because I have the book cover with the sword on, but I did an illustrated cover as well, and Sai's one of the characters featured on the front. And I was like, that's you.
That's awesome.
And it looks just like him. It's really funny.
That's amazing.
Cool. Now I want this cover.
Is that like a special edition cover?
No, it's not on general sale. I just tend to, I'll probably bring some with me to Lit RPG Con because I'll be vending. Or hopefully vending. But yeah, they'll, if I can't vend, I'll be giving them away.
Yeah. Sounds like I talked to Geneva today. It sounds like the vending announcements should be out here soon. The next week or two. So we'll all get to find out here ASAP.
Definitely.
I feel like there might be more room we need to make for the vending hall.
Yeah. Knock out a wall.
It was busy last year. I ended up helping out on the Legion table for a while, just so they could have a break because it was just that hall was just chocker for the whole 3 days.
Yeah.
So, all right, our final character that I'm going to bring up is another one of my favorites. I mean, I have so many favorites. Like you did a really good job at like writing lovable characters, I think. But Fidget, who is this dog person and also the summoner who brings Silas to the new world. Do we get a name for it or not?
The world?
No. Yeah.
Entera.
Entera? Cool. Sounds fantasy.
Mhm.
No, that's
Nothing
good.
complex.
But yeah, no, Fidget. Fidget is her own character. She's
Yeah.
this guardian, and I mean, I guess this happens like really early on in the chapters, but she's like one of the last like guardians, defenders of the world, and basically uses the last of her magic to summon Silas to the new world. And so while we're going through like book one, she's sort of this character who's like popping in constantly and being like, hey, I kind of summoned you for a reason. You want to like go do this thing?
Yeah.
So,
So you, oh, go on. Sorry.
go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So again, Fidget was just really fun to write. She's a rogue sorceress, and very much inspired by my boxer dog Betty. So
I love my boxer.
yeah, so yeah, she's. I just loved writing a character that takes everything literally. So, like you like, because I'm a really sarcastic person in real life, and I wouldn't last 2 seconds with her because yeah, she just takes every word that you say as the gospel.
Yeah, I remember he was talking about like something about his boxers, and she's like, "That's are you trying to make fun of me? Like, what's like? No, they're undergarments. It's just yeah,
I think she's fun because she's kind of that OP, like, hey, this is what you can become, but there's still limits on her power. Like, she can't just like zoom in and take care of him herself. She needs him there for a reason, and yeah,
Yeah,
she's kind of
she
fun.
was also bitterly disappointed that he was who was summoned when she
Yeah,
asked for
yeah.
a champion was given a
Mhm.
data analyst.
Yeah, like I wanted a dragon.
Yeah.
And I got Bob in accounting, like
Yeah.
yeah,
So like her whole arc for the first 2 books really are about her trying to like you're the prophecy, we have to follow the main mission, whereas Silas is very much like, oh, there's a side quest here, let's go and do that, which may or may not get them into trouble again in the second book.
yeah.
I mean, he got in plenty of trouble in the first book, and
Yeah.
honestly, Raven kind of backs up Fidget a little bit as far as like, hey, we need to be going. Like, what are we doing here? Obviously, like for her own reasons, but like, yeah, he's definitely has some wanderlust with being in a new world, which I don't blame him for. Like that, that would be me if I was in a new world. And
Yeah. Also, I thought it'd be too simple if we just went from A to B
yeah,
to let's go and get, because obviously they're having to find a different fragment of the Chaos Blade in each of the books. So what you kind of see is these side missions do eventually lead them on the right path, but along the way you get absolute carnage.
yeah. And I mean, I think that does add more excitement to the series because, like, if you have your like story on like train tracks and it's just going where it's supposed to, it can get a little more boring. So
Yeah.
to add in those extra like encounters, like with the imps or with the like bandit, getting to know Galahad and like all these other characters, it really adds a lot to the writing in the series.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, was there anything else you would like to add, Reck, about Chaos Blade before we move on?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about Galahad a little bit,
Sure.
and the fighting style. I mean, we talked a little bit about on my podcast, but he's such a fun character, and I think the origin story for Galahad is fun. So, yeah, can you tell us a little bit about Galahad, and so people know what to expect?
Yeah, so Galahad was a character that, again, just had a real blast writing him, and just Galahad is the calamity. So he is the comic relief. He is the character that will inadvertently start fights just by being himself. which is a drunken paladin. That's his class, and he has a drunken paladin fighting style. So it's very much he will stumble his way through fights, and it shouldn't work, but he'll stagger and dodge a punch, and then he'll fall over and knock into someone. He'll knock into someone else. He'll knock a plank of wood over that'll land on someone's head at the perfect timing. And I just think you can have a lot of fun with a character like that. And again, you will see him in a more serious light in Crucible, but you still have that kind of drunken knight fighting style, which I can't take full credit for, and it pains me to say it, but yeah, Brian Norden is very good for ideation and kind of brainstorming ideas, and he helped come up with the concept of Galahad's fighting style.
Yeah. I mean, there's been like drunken fist kung fu characters for like a while now, and then it sort of like subverts expectations when you have like a paladin who's like, oh yeah, I'm also just like a raging drunk like alcoholic. So no, he's definitely a very interesting character, and I am looking forward to seeing more of them.
Yeah, so you'll see in book 2 is they're trying
honestly
to get him.
like didn't want to get that attached from like with like the end of book 1. I was like, you're sketchy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he was he very quickly became one of my favorite characters to write, and just because it was so much fun. I think every chapter that is in, he kind of steals the scene. Still not knowing Silas's name after they've been through all the adventure, and he still calls him Sean.
Yeah,
just little quirks like that.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun, and I also was kind of worried about getting attached to him because at first it seemed like he was just going to be like a here for this little misadventure and then gone the next. So I'm excited to hear that you're bringing him back in book 2. It's going to be.
Yeah, like I said, you will get to explore more of his backstory, but you'll see him in a lot more action.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's exciting.
All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your newest series?
So yes, Wingweaver is out in, for me, an hour and a half. It's about 6.5 hours for you guys.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna wait until like 3 p.m. here.
You're living in the future.
I am. It is 10:30 at night for me. So yeah, it comes out on the 28th of April, which is tomorrow, and it is a Dragon Rider Academy series that is more epic progression fantasy side of things, and it is about a rider who bonds with a dragon with permanently damaged wings, meaning they will never fly. They're the only riders in the academy that can't fly, and not only that, Aiden's bonded with her outside of the official ceremony of the academy, so he's kind of broken all the rules inadvertently. And then not only that, she hatches out of a stone egg. So in this story world, consecrated eggs, so eggs that haven't hatched, turn to stone and they become nothing more than ornaments, valuable ornaments. And Aiden finds one, and it just happens to hatch when he comes into contact and bonds with him. So yeah, the story is about their academy life, the kind of prejudices that they face for being a grounded rider, and almost that breaking that mold of, well, you know, what use is a dragon rider if they can't fly, because ultimately he is still bonded to a dragon, which is pretty badass. It's very much inspired by my disability. So the themes are kind of strength that doesn't look like anyone else's, and having the ability to look past people's limitations and focus on what they can do rather than what they can't do. And that's very much the theme through the story, and Aiden's got to have a lot of learning about that, and so is Naira, who is the dragon in the story. So very much explores their bond, the whole magic system, and all the twists and turns in between.
Cool.
Do you? Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead, Joel.
Oh, I was going to ask, so what kind of like magic system are we working with? Is it like a bond-based magic? Is there not magic? Is there
So it is.
cultivation?
So it is a bond-based magic. So all of the riders are placed into classes based on their bloodline. So you have the offense class, guardian class, scout class, and support class. And based on your bloodline will very much dictate. So support, if your parents were support riders, you're going to be a support, or one of your parents was a support rider, you're going to be a support rider, and so on and so forth. They don't mix bloodlines, so you won't get a bloodline where you have a scout class and a support class kind of hooking up on the record, so to speak. And then once you are bonded with your dragon, that is when your magic or your powers will start to manifest. Not a second before, and that grows stronger through your connection, the dragon bond, which in this story world is called the weave. So the stronger the weave, the more powers and abilities the rider will generate, and the more powerful those powers will become in a combat setting.
Nice. Reck, you had a question?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, there's this, like academy novels are a thing, right? I love a good academy novel, right? I've read a bunch of them, and sometimes you get this thing where it's like it's going to be an academy novel, and that's that subversion of expectations. Somebody special, it doesn't actually happen in the academy. We don't do the academy thing. Is Wingweaver going to stay in the academy, or is it one of those like you start in the academy and you like break off and do?
The whole book is set in the academy.
Okay,
so
yeah.
You will have. Obviously, there is still lots of action. The academy's got a lot of grounds, but the whole of the book is set at AVR Academy and within the grounds of the academy. You will get insight into classes, as in Aiden attending classes and coming into conflict with various masters at the academy, and making friends and enemies.
Yeah. No, that's great, because I think it's one of those things where it's like if you're pitching the book as an academy book to readers, like give us some of the academy. So side quests and adventures, and sure, is the series staying there? Are you going to be exploring the world as well?
Yeah, we will as the series progresses. So again, book 2 is going to be mainly set at the academy, predominantly set at the academy. But then beyond that, I have got plans to kind of explore the world and give a rationale for why we need to explore that world. And kind of what. Again, if the series goes well, I want this to be a big series, so there'll be plenty of stories to explore the rest of this of Navaria. But then, if the series goes really, really well, then we've got the opportunities to expect the lands beyond that.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to really mix it up with the Dragon Rider trope. I love Dragon Rider stories myself. I wanted a cool power system. I wanted an academy setting. I've got all the things in there that I love as a reader, and then I've added in my own kind of disability rep, which people have been really vibing with. I had an advanced pre-release on my website, on my store, and ARC readers have been reading it, and the feedback's been incredible. Kind of waiting for the bubble to burst, because it's been really overwhelming. It's just been really nice how people have received the story, and the feedback's been great. Everyone's been putting loads of content out on. I just keep seeing posts everywhere for it, which is really fun. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to listen to the audiobook tomorrow. So so Jack Fields is narrating, who is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And he's so he sent me snippets as in stuff he filmed for me to promo. And he said, "Oh, do you want me to send you the files when I'm done?" And I was like, "No. I want the fully mastered version that I can sit back and listen to and just enjoy the story again." Because obviously, you guys know when you write a book, by the time it comes out, generally you're fed up of reading it because you've
so
had to
tired. Yeah.
you've had to read through it that many times for edits, line edits, copy edits, feedback. Even when it's been edited and proofed, people will then feedback, "Oh, I found a typo on this page," so you have to go back again. And I think listening to it on audio just gives you a whole new medium. And I think the performance that Jack is capable of, that I love the voices that he's given everyone. So I'm just really excited to hear it all come together and see or hear the full cast that is literally just Jack.
Well, I know what I'm listening to tonight.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna have to shoehorn your Wing Weaver into my TBR. Like, dang it, Adam.
Well, it was I already had in the back of my mind, because I'd heard Jack had started doing audiobook narration, because I already knew Jack. And then when I saw him in action at Lit RPG Con up on the stage, I was just like, yeah, I need to work with. I need to do whatever I can to work with this guy. And then I partnered up with Audible not long after Lit RPG Con. I can't remember if we were still in negotiation or if I'd agreed to the deal. But then once I signed that agreement, that I was very insistent that Jack was the person. So they didn't even come to me with other options, because I was just like, no, we've got our narrator.
Yeah.
We did
That's
get a question
awesome.
in here from Caitlin. She asks, will there be any more Naira editions available?
There won't, I'm afraid. So if you guys aren't aware, we had a mishap. So as part of the advanced pre-launch, I ordered a pallet of paperbacks and hardbacks, and when the paperbacks arrived, there was a colour print error on the cover on all 500 copies. So I had to put a post out, and I was absolutely devastated. But like, sorry guys, but the paperback pre-orders are going to have to be delayed, because I can't send these out. And the community just rallied behind me. They were like, "Do you not think this is kind of poetic that the book's about an imperfect dragon, and you've got these imperfect editions?"
I mean, and once the series hits, those are going to be exclusives.
Yeah, and then everyone started calling them the Naira editions, which is the name of the dragons, which I can't tell you the downward spiral I was on when this happened, because I've put so much work into the cover design, organising the print runs, the formatting, every element of it. I've project managed all of it. So everything was running really smoothly. We were on track for the pre-orders, and then they came, and I was just like, "Oh, the book launch is ruined," kind of moment. So then the community just rallied around and dragged me up when that was one of the lowest points for me. Very quickly turned into a high point. So I was getting loads of messages from people saying they still wanted the copy. So the pre-order that they had, they still wanted that copy from a Naira edition. And I reached out to everyone that had pre-ordered and said, "Let me know if you want a Naira edition." And then I put everything else available between my store and then a con I was at, and yeah, we sold out within like a week.
Jeez.
Wow.
It was crazy, including all the hardbacks. So my book comes out tomorrow, and I think I've got about 15 copies left on my store, and that's it.
Nice.
It's not nice, because I was meant to be doing a live stream selling them all, so I've got nothing to sell, which is good. But I think the delivery's on Wednesday, so I will still do a live stream tomorrow, but I'll have to do one on Wednesday when I actually have some stock in to sell to people, because I can't complain at all, because that means we've had 1,000 physical copies of the book go out to readers before it officially releases, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah, those are the sorts of things authors dream about, right? Of having that kind of pre-sale, and it's cool that your fan base rallied around the Naira edition.
Yeah, and what I'm finding is that I'm getting a lot of new readers in for Wingweaver as well. So that's been really nice as well to have new people in the community joining, as well as people that are already, been supporting me from the start and just rooting. I'm feeling the love with this book. Like they've certainly been helping hype it up, which has been really fun to see.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I know I'm definitely getting me a copy tonight. So
Dun dun dun.
why you say it like that? You're like, oh man, now you gotta deal with Joel's critiques.
No, it's more for you. Like, I think the hard thing about a new series, right, is first of all fitting it into a TBR that you've already got kind of planned out.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a podcaster, right? Because there's certain
Yeah,
books that you have to read, but also I have the feeling that Wingweaver is going to be one of those books where you read it and you're like, okay, where's book 2?
Yeah.
Come on, Adam, where's book 2?
So I'm already being inundated with that question, and the book doesn't come out until tomorrow. So
yeah,
which again, it's really good. And I'm halfway. I've just hit the halfway mark with the draft for the second book. So that is has to be with my editor by the end of May. So I'm hoping for the second book to be out by the end of this year. If it isn't the end of the year, it will be the very beginning of 2027, which is terrifying. But preferably, I'd have it out by the end of the year. Which, if I have it, well, no, not if, I will have it to my editor by the end of May. That gives us about 3 months to edit it. So if we can hit all those timelines, then there's no reason why it shouldn't be out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I don't know how many edits you normally go through, but that seems totally manageable.
Yeah, well, my problem is, so when I wrote Chaos Blade, I should have been writing Chaos Blade 2, but then had the idea of Wingweaver. So I wrote Wingweaver before writing Chaos Blade, but then set the same deadlines. So had to have both books finished and edited by December. So it was like, So it was literally right, edit, non-stop for months. And by the end of it, I was absolutely frazzled. So I'm actually 2 months behind where I wanted to be, just because I needed to just regroup and get a grip of everything. So I've promised myself not to be in that position again. So soon as I finish drafting Wingweaver 2, I am insisting on going on a holiday, and then because this year has been non-stop, and then I will be diving straight into Wingweaver 3. And then after I finish Wingweaver 3, it will be into Chaos Blade 3. So then I know I've got a good amount of stories for next year then. So then hope that should be Chaos Blade 3 and Wingweaver 3 coming out next year. Providing everything goes to plan.
I love how authors are like, why are these deadlines so terrible? As they're like, I could just write a second book series.
Yeah. And then I've got in between all that, I've got my co-writes with Talia, and we had a call last week, and we were like, we want to write a Gregor story. So Greg is is my dark fantasy Father Christmas character, and we've got a really cool idea. And we were like, well, it's only a novella, and there's 2 of us. So I was like, right,
we can do it. Yeah.
I was like, Talia, this is in between us working on a series together. I was like, right, there is a week here between when I've finished writing Wingweaver and when I'll go on holiday. So that is literally the window that we've got to make this work. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. And yeah, like you said, I spot a little window and I'll go, could write a book in that.
I could do it, no problem.
Yeah.
So do you find it difficult jumping between series?
Only when I get to the editing.
Yeah,
because I hate editing. But I think it's good. It keeps me on my toes with my creativity, and actually writing in different styles, and there is such a vast difference between Chaos Blade, which is has a lot of comedic elements to it, and very much let my hair down, enjoy the writing, and just embrace the kind of chaos and carnage. So Wingweaver, which is very serious, character driven, loads of action, loads of intense scenes, creating that emotional hook to characters, so that when bad things happen in the story, that I've already had readers saying that there were chapters that they read in that and they just stared at a wall for 10 minutes afterwards and literally were crying their eyes out. And I think that there's such a vast difference between them, that it also stops me from getting in a rut with my writing. So yeah, I find it fun, a little chaotic at times, but
That's good.
What is your favorite reaction that you want your readers to feel in your books?
I want them to relate to the characters more than anything, and that's the feedback I've always got. And I think because I used to be a mental health nurse, I'm very much about getting into the psyche of my characters and their inner thoughts and their inner workings, and making that. Then they don't always make the right choices, but as a reader, you might bang your head against a wall because of the choices that characters are making, but you'll absolutely understand the rationale of the character because you're following the character's rationale, not ours as the readers or as the author. And there has been times where I've had scenes with characters and I've been like, this is what I want to happen in the story, but then I'd be like, that's not that's not how that character reacts, or that's not what that character would do, but then it's ended up making the story even stronger because it hasn't. You might end up having a bit of a curveball, but it just helps ground the characters. Don't get attached to anyone is all I'm going to say.
Dun, dun, dun. You're like, all of that's true, I secretly enjoy making people cry.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to. I'm not a kind of person that will just be like, oh, get attached to this character just because I'm going to kill them or anything like that. Like it has to make sense to the story. And actually, there's a character death in Wingweaver that obviously I won't go into too much detail. That you can absolutely blame my editor, because when Quinn did my dev edits, she was like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I think it's the first time I've ever said it to one of my authors, is you need to kill someone. She was like, you have to absolutely, and she let me, obviously she didn't tell me where that needed to happen, but she was like, there needs to be a scene where something happens, and we talked about the reasoning for it, and it absolutely made sense, and that's why she's my dev editor, to the point where I was crying my eyes out when I killed that character, and I emailed her saying, I am putting in the dedication for people to email you directly because that's your fault.
Now Quinn's going to get so much hate.
Yeah, I was like that was absolutely your fault.
Yeah.
Look what you made me do.
So I have a question. At one point you're like, you're a big fan of Dragon Rider novels and stuff. What is the fandom like? What Dragon Rider novels or authors are your favorite that you've kind of taken?
Yeah, so Michael R. Miller's Ascendant, with Songs of Chaos series, I absolutely love that series. It also has the disability rep within that, where Holt's dragon Ash is blind, and I just love that concept. And it is a kind of, it did give me confidence to kind of bring my own disability rep in my way into the series. And I've been a really big fan of Michael's. I think it was the Dragon Blade trilogy that I read that introduced me to Michael's work. And then I had the pleasure of meeting him last year at London Comic Con, and then again at London Book Fair. He's just a big inspiration in that sense. Kind of paved the way for indie authors with Dragon Rider fantasy for how things can be done. So yeah, I think that's my favorite. I hoover those stories up on audiobook, and then once I've completed it, I will go to the Broken Binding and purchase a signed copy to put on my bookshelf.
Nice.
I mean, to me, what comes to mind if you say like Dragon Rider Academy, it's probably like all the skills, like Nemesis, I'd say. It's like a Dragon Rider Academy. I think that one does eventually get harem-y. I don't. As I didn't really get into book 2 yet for that series, but the first one's really good. I don't know what else. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot out there, but I'm excited. I am a big fan of Dragon Rider Academies.
That's good to know. Well, we've only got a few hours to wait, so I am not going to sleep tonight at all. I know for a fact I'm just going to be let in bed. I'll be
You're like,
waiting
I'm
till
finally
midnight.
recovered from con.
Yeah, I'll be
Says
waiting.
you, I got like 10 hours.
Well, because I'm on quite a strict writing thing, like having to hit words and stuff. Tomorrow's the only day where I've kind of said, if you get any words, it's a bonus. But I haven't put any expectation in to do any writing because of the book launch. But I know I'm just going to be wired in bed, and then it'll get to midnight, and I'll be refreshing Audible every minute just to see if the audiobook's ready, and then I'm probably just going to spend all through the night listening to it.
That's awesome.
And probably discovered that actually it won't release till 8 o'clock in the morning when it's midnight in USA.
Yeah. I
That's
think
happened to me before with promos. I've been like, why is a promo not activated? And it's because I've got to wait till 8 a.m. my time.
yeah,
That's
for
it.
me, I think it's like 3 a.m. is normally when audiobooks release.
3 oh yeah, I don't know. Well, I probably will.
Well, I
make
mean,
it
I
till
work
3
at night, so that's like after my lunch.
Joel's like halfway through my shift. Book
Yeah.
drop. Yes.
Yeah, and be like, all right, so what story do I want to start that I'm not going to be that invested in? And I'll normally end up going back to like, I don't know, The Land or Dungeon Crawler Carl or something. Just like, because like those are series that I've like read enough that I'm like, okay, I know what happens, so I just need something interesting that's going to take up my time.
Mhm. That's awesome. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We still got about like 10 minutes here, but I don't know if you want to start like wrapping up. And unless you guys have any final thoughts on Wind Weaver, any final questions?
So what, other than Wind Weaver, what else are you listening to or reading at the minute?
Yeah, I was gonna go into that. So we normally do a segment called "What Have You Been Reading?" And since you asked the question first, I guess I'll answer.
Normally Joel waits and he answers it at the end.
Put me on the spot here.
I mean, I can go first if that makes it easier.
No, it's good. So I picked up a book from Mountaindale called Path of the Deathless. I've been really enjoying it. It's by Ostensible Mammal. Weird author name, but I dig
I
it.
love our author names there.
Right.
Out there.
And then I've been doing like re-listens for like God's Eye and He Who Fights with Monsters. I do need to do a re-listen for DCC because in May that series is going to come out.
That actually comes out on my 40th birthday.
Yeah, mine's the 26th, so on my 30th it'll come out.
May 18th. So
yeah,
I'm hoping for a copy. I'll have to say to Matt, come on, get me a copy.
Give
Yeah.
me a copy. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, and Chaos Blade, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
So, Adam, I'll go with you next. What have you been reading?
Well, I got picked this up at JordanCon. There Be Dragons Here by S.L. Rowland. So I bought the book. So I got a nice signed copy. And then I was talking to a friend of mine who said that she's been listening to the audio at the same time as reading the book. So I went and downloaded the audiobook for immersive reading, and it's the first time I've done that, and I've been really enjoying it. So I'm a couple of hours in. I think it's quite short. I think it's about 7 hours long, the audiobook. So I kind of like that, especially after Wing Weaver, because Wing Weaver's such a big book that actually it's been really easy to dive into, and now I'm kind of 2.5 hours in. I'm thinking, oh, not much longer, and I'm hit the halfway mark, and you're hitting those milestones. And actually, so far, I'm really enjoying the cozy fantasy vibe. There are some actiony bits in it, but yeah, I would say it is in the cozy fantasy genre.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know S.L. Rowland has a lot of great series.
Yeah.
I actually got to
get
really
into
meet him at the con. It was fun.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Effortlessly cool. It's sickening.
He's got that charisma going for him.
Yeah.
It's for the rest of us. We're like lukewarm and trying really hard.
Yeah. Well, when I went to buy it, I was like, "Oh, can I use your PayPal? Because I'm out of cash to pay." And this picture of him came up with like flowing black hair. I was like, "When did you have that?" I was like, "You used to be a model or something."
Yeah.
So, Reck, what have you been up to? What you been
Yes.
reading?
So I just finished, or I just got caught up on Royal Road, Bone Daddy Goth Bobby by Rainy Days. It's actually like the title is catching, but you get into it and it's this kind of like cinnamon bunny sort of like sweet, cozy-ish book. And it's I mean, I really enjoyed it. So excited about that one. I'm definitely gonna, I don't have an audiobook right now, so Wing Weaver is gonna be my audiobook choice that I'm gonna pick up. But I'm also I just started reading Casey Azell's new one, The Blood on the Sand. So Goth Mommy Bone Daddy. Sorry, Pop. Of course I messed up the title. But yeah. But Casey's new one is good. I'm about a fifth of the way through. Yeah, it's it picks up right where the last book left off, so excited about that one too. Yeah, so you should feel honored, Adam, because I'm wedging Wing Weaver in between all of the podcast books. So yeah, you got bumped up here.
Well, I hope it doesn't disappoint.
No, it should be good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I need to figure out who I'm going to be having on here in a bit. So I'm like, I don't have any deadlines that I need to meet to like for authors to have on, but I've had a couple of authors reach out that I just haven't gotten dates for yet. So,
yeah, I just set my May schedule. I'm booked up to until June. Like really, I'm booked up through June, which is wild, but yeah.
I'm thinking about doing some I don't know, like top 20 video or something like that. Because like I've read so many series in this genre.
Yeah. You could do like a mid-year tier, like not a tier list maybe, but like a mid-year top 10 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like my personal, like, don't get mad at me. I like these books.
I was going to say, don't piss everyone off.
No, I wouldn't be like, this is the list. You need to, no. This is definitely like my interests, and don't get mad at me. I like these books. I will die on the hill, but I like these books. So definitely stay tuned for that. I think probably 2 weeks here. So where are we? What are we looking at? It's the 27th now. So I guess it'd be around the 10th or somewhere around there that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So should be a fun episode. I don't know. I might have to find someone to come on and talk their list too.
There you go.
Sounds like a job for you, Reck.
Maybe, yeah. I'd have to think about that. My next podcast, so I'm on the 28th. So tomorrow I'll be on with Lit RPG Dennis. Just it's nice. I didn't have to read anything for that podcast because we're just going to be doing like a Jordan Con, you know, chit chat. So that'll be fun.
I think I gave Dennis a copy of Wingweaver.
Yeah, did you? I'm jealous. Like Dennis, man.
I only had a handful of.
Yeah,
books.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
And he did ask me early on if it is the same Dennis.
You know, I actually am going to start doing this thing. So it was really successful at Jordan Con. There's a couple authors that had interviewed, like Alora and Jeffrey Falcon Loge. And I messaged them ahead of the con and I was like, hey, you're going to be there. Can you bring me a book of this?
Yeah.
You know, and they brought it. And I was like, oh, this is the way to go. So I'm going to ask you now, Adam, if you are, I mean, I know you got luggage because you got to travel, but if you have a copy, if you can bring me a copy of Wingweaver too.
I will be sending copies over to Lit RPG Con, so don't worry.
Okay.
I will, hopefully they'll be getting printed and meeting me there rather than me having to.
Oh, sweet.
When I could only bring 6 to Jordan Con because the hardbacks are 1 kilogram each, bang on. So
it takes up a lot of space. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a chunky book. I've got a copy here. So it is a big.
Ooh, yeah, chunky. Yeah. Okay. But I would like to pre-assign a copy for me for Lit RPG Con.
Yeah.
And
that's fine.
I'm gonna start doing that and just be like, hey, I'm gonna critical strike. Yeah.
No, do it.
Yeah. But it worked out.
Yeah.
What's funny though is I got the omnibus. You guys gotta see this book. This is by far the biggest.
Holy.
Right. he got the book out and I was like, is that what I bought? Like,
I've got a copy of that.
Yeah. Like, all right. Yeah. Jeffrey's got the biggest book, the most chunkiest book award from me this year. But yours might take a close second. That looks like a chunk.
Yeah, it does look chunky.
It is chunky. The paperback's even bigger because it's traditional paperback size. So with the paperback, 700 pages.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Love it.
I wonder what that's going to be in listening time. Plus with Jeff Fields.
I don't know. It hasn't updated with how long the audiobook is, so I'm not too sure. But I am curious myself for how long it is.
Somewhere around 40, maybe. Just spitballing.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think it's not going to be like. I mean, the book was 180,000 words, so.
Okay, so that's not that bad.
Yeah, still a good chunk. Yeah. It's so funny. I remember my first book I got, it was like 60,000 words. I was like, I did it. I wrote a novel. And now it's like 140, 150. It's like you creep up.
Yeah. That's what's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know from going through the publishing process of this that 180 is the limit for me being able to produce a book for the quality I want them to be at.
Yeah.
They literally couldn't upload the hardback onto Amazon. I had to do it through Ingram to set up the pre-order because Amazon wouldn't print a hardback book with that amount of pages. Yeah.
Hmm.
But hardbacks are very important to me.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
do like a good hardback. I do think most of my copies are in paperback though, but honestly, hardbacks are a little more difficult to get on the shelf.
See, I prefer them, but that's yeah.
Yeah, they look nicer and they're better quality.
Yeah, like I said, I tend to listen to the audiobook, and if I enjoy the audiobook, I'll get the physical book as a trophy.
Yeah, it's my trophy case back there somewhere over there.
But it'll have to be either signed or special. I've got a thing for special editions at the minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we are coming to a close. So, if you want to let people know where they can find you.
Yes. So if you want signed copies, my website apbeswickpublications.com, and the audiobook is Audible exclusive for Wingweaver, and the rest are wide. And yeah, my books are generally available everywhere, but are now on KU. So KF Blade, Wingweaver, or my backlist are available on KU.
Yeah, and I will say the Audible and Amazon for Wingweaver and Chaos Blade is in the description. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So
Go get Wingweaver tonight.
Yeah, do
Yes. Honestly, it's like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But
And,
I've also got that anxiety of, oh God, what if no one reads it?
Well, I mean, at least one person's reading it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that.
yeah, thank you for making time and coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Rick, did you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah. 2 places: Facebook, Reck Well, and TikTok, Reck Well Author, and then my podcast is Beyond Quests with Reck on YouTube. So go check it out and join that. We call it my fan club. My fan group is the Cornucopia. So come join the Cornucopia, which is it's fun.
I will definitely have to add a link to that in the description. But also in the description, Discord, if you want to go chat, I'm going to be reading Wingweaver tonight. So we can definitely chat about that. But yeah, again, thank you for coming and stopping by. Thank you, guests, for making time out of your busy schedules to come hang out with me. And go get those books.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.